Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jonathan, and up here you can see is Austin. We're shooting a
Up.
little Zoom video remote, but there's so much going on right now with COVID-19, and we wanted to talk about the most important thing that we think right now you need to know, and it's the ability to close. And so we kind of want to break that down real quick and have a little discussion about that. Austin, so where should we start? Ability to close. What's that look like?
Yeah, so the thing that triggered this for me, Jonathan, us having this conversation was we had a client go into a multiple offer situation over the weekend, which was awesome, right? We want to hear that there's multiple offer purchase deals happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to the listing agent, and thankfully our client is in an essential industry right now. They're in the medical field. Medical field is pretty essential, and so we're not too worried about the continuation of her employment and her income. And so I was stressing to the listing agent, hey, this is really the only thing that matters. I mean, if you've got multiple offers from people that are in essential industries, okay, now you can go back to who's giving us the better offer. But who has the better offer doesn't matter if they can't get the deal closed. And guys, I mean, I just can't stress to you, our realtor partners out there, how fragile the situation is right now from the lending side. And you have to be working with people that have the ability to close, that are a part of essential. They don't, I mean, they should be a part of essential industries. Basically, if I'm in your shoes and I'm working with a client or taking an offer, it better be cash or an essential industries person.
Yeah,
Is that fair,
exactly.
Jonathan?
Yeah, no, I think so. And one of the things we're talking about is, pre-qualification before COVID is really great to have, and I would say crucial to have if you're going to be home shopping. But right now, even more so, I think, is this idea of like, what is 100% going to guarantee me this person might not lose their job or lose a hit on their income? So,
Yeah, absolutely. Just because somebody's pre-qualified, that doesn't mean squat right now. I mean, it means it helps that, I mean, certainly that they're not qualified, but what you guys, there are businesses that are in existence right now that might not be in existence next week. You know, that
mhm.
person could be a part of an oil and gas company that could get furloughed next week. And so you have to be willing to step outside of the traditional box that you operate in and think about what is going on. How fragile is this offer? How fragile is this client in the current climate? So yeah, pre-qualified is good, but it's only as good as the piece of paper it's written on at the moment. I mean, what we need to be paying attention to is, what does this person do, and how likely is it that they're going to be able to still be gainfully employed by the time we get to closing?
Yeah, and to stay in that same vein, thinking about ability to close, if someone's bringing, a buyer and they're backing a government loan like a VA, USD, or FHA, if I was a listing agent, I'd be a little cautious about that government loan, right?
Yes, guys. I mean, that's scary territory right now. And the reason is because the pricing has just gotten way out of whack. We're seeing a lot of investors ratcheting up very quickly all their requirements for anyone to qualify on a government loan. But then the pricing is so far out that basically nobody can do it right now. And so realistically, if you've got an FHA borrower and you're a buying agent or a VA borrower, honestly, guys, like, I would be prepared to tell them we need to wait until all this COVID-19 stuff blows over. Otherwise, I mean, I just feel like you're kind of asking for a really
It's a roll of
stressful
the dice
cash.
at that standpoint, right?
And it really is. I mean, you're putting your client's earnest money at risk. I mean, just because they might like I'm saying, that they qualify for something right now doesn't mean that they're going to be able to get closed on that deal. And so, man, I would just, if I had a government client right now, I would be encouraging them to hold the brakes. Let's wait until we're past this. Now, if you can get gift funds or we can get you to conventional, let's go. No worries there. But on the government side, I'd be starting to think about holding off for sure.
Exactly. And so the next thing that Austin and I kind of wanted to talk about, and we'll kind of end our little short get together here, is what's going on with jumbo loans and jumbo investors. So if you are a buyer's agent or have listings, above 800,000, there's a lot going on in that world that we kind of want to talk to you about.
Yeah, and that's a lot of our clients. A lot of
A
our
lot.
referral partners, you guys live in this jumbo range, and we love it. We know you love it. But a word of caution on the jumbos is we've got a lot of investors. We're seeing them across the industry literally getting out of jumbos right now. Then we're not talking mom and pop shops, are we, Jonathan? I mean, we're talking
No, the big ones.
last week, Wells Fargo got out of jumbo. Okay. Like for the time
Yeah.
being, Wells freaking Fargo
It's
is
the biggest jumbo investor in the country.
yeah. And then Quicken Loans, who's a lender. They were like, you know, we're hearing that they're not doing jumbos at all right now. And
Yeah.
so there are some big shops out there that are going, hey, we're going to press pause on the jumbo loans. There are still banks like Chase and BB&T, and we've got some other investors that are still doing the jumbo loans, but jumbo is getting tight. The qualifications are getting tight, and the investors that are allowing it, that group is getting smaller. So
yeah, so same thing. If I'm a listing agent, have $1 million home, and I'm looking at a 45% down payment versus a 20% down payment, where the 45% would put you at max conforming, or 20% would keep you in jumbo. I thought, even though the purchase price might be a little bit lower on that 45% down payment, but I'd be egging my sellers like, hey, this conventional loan's going to close jumbo. That could be a coin toss.
that's a great point. Yeah, we didn't even talk about that before the call. That's a great point. I love that. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And then last week you closed a super jumbo. It was on a over $2 million purchase. Got it done in the middle of all this craziness.
Yeah, so it's still happening. It's just like we're saying, that everything's getting narrowed, and there's just some investors backing out the market. But the ones that we've been working with are still in the market. But just going forward, we've got to make sure that things are very that fit in the box. The box has got way more rigid.
Yes,
So
I did. And so I think really kind of as a parting thought for all of our real estate partners out there, what you want to be thinking about with jumbo loans is whether or not your client or the person you're receiving an offer from is working with a lender that has multiple jumbo investor options. If you only have a couple of options or one option, that's super risky. It's good that it's a good sign if they're still in the game at this point. But this thing's been so crazy. Who knows what next week holds? And so if I were you, if I was a real estate agent and I was a listing agent and I was receiving a jumbo offer, I would want whoever is getting that jumbo financing to be working with a group that has multiple jumbo investors, so that we know we've got some options as this thing gets closer to closing.
absolutely. So just remember, guys, it's about the ability to close. So that's kind of our message going into this week, and probably the rest of the week, is just be thinking about the ability to close, and that being the most important thing right now.
Amen.
All right, man. Good chatting, Austin. Adios, my man. All right, guys. We're here if y'all need us. All right, peace.